Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they're pernicious evils.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Still suffering from the mosquito. This last one really knocked me out. I mean, this one, that was like, But whatever got me last time is like, just knocked me out good. Caused some rude damage. So, bombshell breaking news. You bleep with me, I will expose you. You should have consulted the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints first before going to bed with them. Neil Mohan. So, before we talk about the YouTube scandal, people are in great panic as Biden is unfit to be president. He's in desperate need of a nursing home. As a convicted felon who attempted a coup of America is running for president in violation of the 14th Amendment, Section 3. Did I not? Thought I did. Oh my God. Seriously? I was sure I did a copy and paste of it. NATO. Yeah, okay, great. It was misfiled when I did a copy and paste. No person shall be a senator or a representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, SCOTUS, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, just put everybody, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. Trump is not allowed to run for president. Senator Mike Lee is not allowed to be a senator. Others of MAGA, who have also given aid and comfort to MAGA, are not allowed in government office and are also part of the conspiracy as insurrectionists. And the Biden administration knew what they needed to do. They are to save America, protect America from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. It's in the Constitution. They take the oath to do so. Unfortunately, Biden and the Dems have failed to protect America, to do what is necessary to quell the insurrectionists, to remove them from power and lock them up. And thus the insurrectionists got worse, just like bullies back in grade school. So, yes, we can blame Democrats for our fate. We are purposely being led into fascism. And the Dems are pretending that there's nothing they can do. President Biden can invoke the Insurrection Act and quell this rebellion immediately. And then he can drop out of the presidential election and let a whole new batch of people run for president who are not insurrectionists. But nope. He's having an elder moment. You can't tell me what to do. So, yeah, there are people saying that if Trump wins, blame the Democrats. No. By Trump running, you blame the Democrats. People are not understanding the seriousness of what's going on. They're all purposely influencing the masses against the real threat to America. 3 Nephi, chapter 7, warned you the whole time. So, Trump's going to do the Insurrection Act. If the Civil War doesn't happen with the election. It's amazing how it's the exact same pattern match to those Danites in 1838. Weird. And some of those descendants of those Danites from 1838 are in government office now and were a part of this insurrection. Weird. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Thomas B. Marsh didn't know what he was talking about in his affidavit to the governor. Anyway, so here locally in Utah, Jenkins lost his lawsuit against Malloy. He just doesn't understand. You've got to be a faithful, loyal, tithe-paying Mormon, and Malloy is more faithful in her tithe-paying loyalty to the church than you are. And so the church has wanted her in, not you. You need to understand that. And apparently there's 400 mail-in votes in Iron County that will not be counted. So, yeah, yay. Voting. My vote doesn't count. I'm not in Iron County though, but by the way. And because of SCOTUS, I don't want to laugh. My throat still hurts. Overthrowing Roe v. Wade, because remember, Biden and the Dems did not quell the insurrectionists. And so SCOTUS are also part of the insurrection, overthrowing the 14th Amendment, Section 1. And so now, states are also joining in and giving rights to sperm, embryos, and fetus, not to women. SCOTUS did say that Idaho can now have emergency abortions, but all their OBGYNs are gone. Google sucks. Oh, God, I just want a simple answer. Yeah. OBGYNs do perform abortions. And so, yeah, Idaho chased out all of their OBGYNs. And so it's a null and void issue for Idaho to be allowed to perform emergency abortions, because there are no OBGYNs in Idaho anymore. They were run out of town with Idaho's new law. So, the results came back from Utah's forensic investigation of the substance on the woman's skirt. It is confirmed it is sperm, and it belongs to Tim Ballard. And so the case is dismissed. Tim Ballard goes free because sperm has more rights than the woman. Oh my God. But I'm kind of concerned now. Did she just sit there and let him do it on her? What's going on? Why didn't you get up and run out of the room screaming? Why did you sit there and let him do it? What's going on? I don't understand. Alright. So, as I've been informing you, YouTube has been attacking me. They've been attacking me for a long time, but this year it got worse, as I'm now banned from watching YouTube videos, signed in. And so, I am well aware that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a major stockholder in Google, which owns YouTube. And so, with the intensified threats against me this year to silence me from doing videos before April's conference, there's got to be a connection to the church. There's got to be money involved. Oh, I meant to do that. It doesn't help when you define it as the word. Come on. Oh my God. Here we go. Advocating severe or drastic measures far from moderate, especially politically. But we're talking religious extremism for this particular case. And so thus an extremist is one who advocates severe or drastic actions to be taken. Okay? And so, The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints therefore falls under the definition of an extremist religion, as Section 119 is a criminal extortion racket with other crimes, financial crimes involved with it, for which the church was shut down for Section 119 in 1887. They just don't want you to know about it. Sneeze. This is how I knew it's flu related to the mosquito bite. It's because the Michigan State University's health department pharmacy had the differentiating symptoms, but they didn't have the cold shakes, and I don't think they had headache either. Nope, they do have headache. Yeah, sometimes all the way across the board, but they don't have the cold. It's weird. Okay, and so the church, in the Way to Perfection, I retired the book yet again, page 290, 291. The governments of the world, not just the United States of America, are going to hand over the keys of government to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's kind of extremist. That's insurrectionist here in the state of, or in the United States. You're not allowed to coup the government. You were given religious freedom in the First Amendment. What the hell are you doing? And so, yes, the church is also anti-abortion, anti-porn, anti-women, anti-blacks, anti-coloreds, anti-LGBTQ, IAPO+, anti-Jew, anti-other religion, anti-poor. They're anti-everybody. And Mormons are not getting it. They're not seeing what is blatantly obvious. They do not understand, because they will not study, that the church leaders, have no authority. I just have redone those videos for you lately. Revealed the keys of creation and resurrection for you. And so, you would think that people would not associate themselves with insurrectionists because they might get in trouble. So apparently last year, on February 14th, Susan, not going to even try the last name, resigned as the YouTube CEO. And Neil Mohan took over. He's younger than I am by 3 years. Everybody's having fun but me. And so, we need to get to the documents. I'm in the healing process, and so it's the gross phase. Yeah. So, she's older than I am by 2 years. Well, they do have you pronounce it. I noticed that I'm having trouble seeing as also another symptom of what's going on. My vision has been impaired. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole history of it. We'll just go right to, on February 16th, 2023, Susan announced her resignation from YouTube via a company blog post. Now, listen to the excuse, because this excuse is used by everybody who's trying to cover up and hide the real reason why they're resigning. Jason Chaffetz, for example, used this excuse, and it wasn't legitimate because he went out and found another job and then had to get another job as working with Fox as a commentator. And now I guess he's got his own show now that he's been successful as a commentator. God. Mormon boy turned bad. Which is an oxymoron, because Mormons are born bad because of the indoctrination. To focus on family, health, and personal projects. Yeah, I'm sure. Nope, because if you see the bigger picture of what was going on, let's pull him up before we go to the other. You begin to see why she was pushed out of office. Just evil. Betraying his country, which we'll get to. We'll get to it. February 14th, 2 days before her resignation, the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary held a hearing. The committee holds a full committee hearing February 14th, 2023 on protecting our children online to examine the challenge of ensuring online child safety and privacy, with witnesses testifying to the risks, threats, and harms that children face in the online world. Because there were parents who were complaining that their kid committed suicide because of the bullying on social media, even YouTube. You get a child who does videos, and because YouTube allows thumbs ups and thumbs downs, the kids are deeply affected if they get a thumbs down. And there are too many bullies out there. And then you get people commenting about how the child sucks and they need to go kill themselves, and so the child doesn't feel loved. And they're little sensitive snowflakes because they're just kids. And so they commit suicide because of all the abuse that they get. This is the real problem. However, the bullies never want to take blame and responsibility for themselves. They have to blame others. So, like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they say it's porn. Porn is the threat to our kids online. And if you're a frequent YouTuber who specifically searches for things, not being a zombie to what they want you to watch, you would see the changes that YouTube makes to viewers over the years, as well as those of us who are creators. The changes that they are forcing us to make, not giving us an option to design our channel the way we want it to work. Nope, it's got to be their way, or they cyber terrorize you for complaining. And so, yeah, she resigned because of her failure to protect children on YouTube. And so, yes, she uses the excuse, I'm wanting to focus on family. Really? You couldn't protect children on your company, and so now you're going to be with your family. God. So, yeah, there was most likely a quitting package that she received to resign, getting forced out of the job. And so Neil Mohan has demonstrated his loyalty and obedience to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so he was approved to step in as the new Nazi CEO of YouTube. And it's shameful. He's American, born and raised, so he can run for president. I'm sure he'll do better than Biden. But his family heritage is India. And India has this awesome book from ancient days called the Kama Sutra, which is a book on sex ed. And so you'd think that he'd be a little more lenient towards women on YouTube, not abuse women on YouTube. Because the whole protecting children thing was about why children are committing suicide. And I'll give you a hint, it's not because they see a woman naked. It's because they're getting bullied. But the church doesn't want you to believe that it's bullying. They want you to believe it's porn. Women are evil. Women need to cover up and hide. So says the Mormon temples, with the inverted pentagram on the headquarters, Salt Lake City temple doors, keystone. Doctrine of Lucifer is to abuse women. And so, not much is known about his personal life, only about his career. He's keeping his personal life personal. But he does have a wife and a family, I guess. Maybe not. Doesn't say he has kids. Just says he's married to another Indian woman, who I'm sure is also an American. Could also run for president. Probably do better than Biden. And so he's the one to blame for YouTube TV, YouTube Premium, and the transition to copy TikTok with the YouTube Shorts. And if you are aware that when you watch a video, you will see a red line at the bottom when you come back to YouTube and see recommendations or go to their channel. Yeah, they have channels. And so you can see where you've left off, see what you've already seen before. But for the shorts, no, there is no red line to know if you've seen the short or not, or to see where you've left off on the channel's listing of shorts. They won't do it. And so blame him. Neil. But he's also been involved participating with the White House in 2020, thus Trump, to ban content that targets extremist groups. However, it's under Trump. He's an extremist. And so they don't mean extremist. They mean deep state Dems. ISIS, etc. And so prohibiting the content, taking it down. And so he's also the one responsible for saying we need to keep YouTube safe from you posting porn. If you remember, was it Mother's Day? I think it was. They took down a thumbnail that had no nudity in it. There could have been sexual innuendo if you're thinking in the gutter that way. But I used a Book of Mormon quote, had a Book of Mormon in the background on the wall, and it was declared porn. So all Mother's Day I was not allowed to post any more videos. Until the evening time when they said, fine. They didn't apologize, they didn't make restitution, they just said, fine. But in the beginning, they said, oh, we're sorry, your feelings are hurt by this, that we need to keep YouTube safe from you. Very abusive language by YouTube. Very condescending, demeaning, humiliating bullying by YouTube. And also, since he took over, there's been some other changes. You can no longer contact a YouTube employee by email. You can no longer reach out to any human being to complain. And any appeals are denied. You used to be able to explain your side of the story. Not anymore. You get an appeal button, and that's it. You don't get to explain yourself. Neil's responsible for this. Also, this year especially, I have witnessed the banning of women and their channels. Women, for being women, their channels got banned. They're not extremists, they're not terrorists, they're not insurrectionists, they're not talking politics. They're just doing videos about stuff in their life, which try-on hauls. Police. Interesting. And yet they're all being banned. Because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with YouTube's community guidelines, says no porn. But porn isn't a thing. It was created by evangelicals after their failure to force America to teach creationism in the public school system. Pornography was never used among the Greeks. They had porn, that's a Greek word. They had graphy, which is a Greek word. Not combined together, though. That was evangelicals. And the interpretation of sexual nudity was never acknowledged by the Greeks because, all of their art were nude women and nude men, but nonetheless. And then you had that Pope who castrated the men. Put fig leaves over. And thus preaching against sex ed. And so he should know better. He knows that his cultural heritage is all about proper sex ed. That you don't demean women. That you don't sexually abuse women. And yet he's doing it. You do not have the right to take away the rights of other people. YouTube videos are an art form. YouTube videos about women are scientific. YouTube art videos of scientific women who are doing fashion try-ons now makes it educational as well. I meant to do this and I didn't do it. I'm not prepared for this video. Miller versus California. 1973, Miller versus California. It had to do with obscenity and what actually defines obscenity. And there were 3 questions that were asked. And so if any one of these 3 can be said yes to, then it's not obscene. And so YouTube only uses number 1, ignoring the other 2. Whether the average person applying contemporary community standards, and in the state of Utah, community standards are not the community standards of Russia or any of those countries that endorse child sex trafficking. So what community standards are YouTube talking about? They're a worldwide company. They can't use community standards to convince us that we're in the wrong, that women are to blame for banning them from doing try-on hauls. And so here's number 3 that nullifies everything as being porn. It doesn't exist. It's a religious thing. It's not allowed in the law. Whether the work, taken as a whole, lacks serious, literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. So Trump can have an ad showing Harris or Hillary Clinton getting grabbed by the Trump no longer watches my videos. But YouTube videos are in and of themselves artistic. Women are biological, thus scientific. The human body is not a danger, pornography, a threat to anybody, especially children. If we would teach our kids, rather than causing fear in our kids with miseducation, there wouldn't be an issue. And as scientific, but literary would be educational. I'm surprised the judge didn't put educational. And so, yeah, there is no such thing as pornography. All depictions of art, of women, are not to be considered obscene and pornographic and thus not harmful. And so the Church of Jesus Christ, with their continual push to cause fear of women's bodies, makes them extremists. And so, Neil is a two-face. He's a part of Trump's anti-extremism movement, and yet is working with extremists. And thus, YouTube, being a company of Google, which the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a major stockholder in. Is selectively banning what his stockholders want him to ban. And thus, there's the receipt for what YouTube did to me. And so as Susan was removed for not protecting children, Neil comes in being ordered to protect children. And it's not to protect children from being bullied and abused on YouTube. That hasn't stopped. But they've been going after porn. And so I've also noticed the latest trend of women to post disclaimers. You shouldn't have to, women. YouTube should already know. Apparently YouTube doesn't know. And so I applaud you for stepping up to YouTube to demand that YouTube leave you alone. I hope they do. But Neil is put in the office to attack you. It's just real sick and wrong. The sexual abuse that is going on YouTube, ordered by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, isn't that special? Yeah, I think we got it all. So I have a thumbnail that normally, if I were to show it, and it's the Kama Sutra. It's an illustrated version, and so, yes, it's porn. Shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. But he's the CEO. His cultural heritage is from India. He embraces the Kama Sutra, right? You know, if you are in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you kind of embrace the Book of Mormon, right? Even though you misinterpret it, even though it's got porn in it, you still embrace it. Call it true. Call it Christian rather than Jewish, but nonetheless. And so, yeah, Neil is the extremist. Neil is the insurrectionist, giving aid and comfort to the insurrection, promoting the various attacks on the American public, the YouTube ads to overthrow the election, as was done in 2016, that I complained about, and they weren't happy that I caught it. And so, yeah, Neil is a Trump supporter. And thus, why he attacks anybody who goes against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Trump. And so, unfortunately, women are being abused as a result, not just others. Don't mess with me. The church should have warned you.